Greetings, fellow mercenaries. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Battle Brothers, Episode 2, Better Contracts. You place the ghoul's head onto Roger the merchant's desk. For some reason, fluids still issue from its neck, dribbling down the side of the oak, and no doubt staining it. The man leans back, tenting his fingers on his belly. And what else? Ghosts? He snickers to himself. Nothing is too difficult for you, sellsword. He snaps his fingers and servants come up, handing you a satchel of 380 crowns. And Alan is no longer suffering from villagers disappearing. This was a successful hunt. The jagged fangs are sold on the marketplace. But the equipment that Mattis the apprentice left in the murky waters will be kept, possibly for the next recruit. Our battle brothers will make the long trip down to Katzenberg, hopefully to seek additional combatants ready to fight for coin. The Dawnland roads in Middlemark are known for their direwolves that threaten travelers. The Witchmount Hills crust, and we can see Katzenberg, a mighty stone keep that's surrounded by forests on the horizon. No jobs will be found in Katzenberg, not without better reputation with their kingdom, but at least coin and man to hire will be found. Looking over the potential recruits, we have yet another apprentice, and we'd like to hire that one. Additionally, there's a brawler. He's ready to punch. He'll be good in a fight. We'll just have to keep him out of the tavern. The new Axeman is ready to also become a student of the blade, focusing on his fatigue, his health, and resolve. He is still wounded from previous fights, but nothing permanent. He is still yet in good spirits. Ulrich, having a few kills under his belt, is ready to practice aiming. And hopefully, with higher initiative, we'll be able to let loose bolts earlier in the fight. Alfred the Short, a happy drunk, also wants to get better with bow. Sadly, he is hungover. With the new recruit, a brawler, we do not have sufficient armor for him. We'll seek better armor in the markets. The tunics might be damaged and discounted, but they are no good. We'll have to find better weapons elsewhere. A simple pitchfork is procured for the last man hired. The apprentice will be in the backfield. Tools and supplies are far cheaper in this city than in the others, so we stock up on tools and supplies in order to maintain our equipment. We set out west, about a day's travel to Eisenstein, a small village which might have work for a small band like we. We have 3 more days of supplies and 4 more days of crowns. We have limited time to make short work of our contracts. At the intersection of the Middlemark Road, just south of Dawnland, there is evidence of many battle sites. These roads must be plagued with bandits. Eisenstein has only but one difficult contract, and the men are not ready. And unfortunately, the marketplace does not have any discounted armor either. Undeterred, we set further west to Ullingrum and the Miterfells. Miterfells is closer. We'll head there first. Miterfells is a mining town. Some huts and small buildings house workers who work in the nearby mines. The mines here produce copper ingots used by the big cities in the surrounding areas. The men here looking to join the mercenary group. Some are miners, some are farmhands, one's a shepherd, and peddlers alike. If we need more men in the future, this would be a good place to check first. Lars the Elder cuts right to the point. I've got a shipment of, well, what it is doesn't concern you. It's going to Cobmanhaven. And, like many folks, I'm worried about brigands on the road. I need you to watch the caravan to make sure it arrives safe and sound in about a day. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? What does it pay? He nods. You look able. I'm willing to pay quite a bit. It's 3 crowns per head you arrive with for up to 15 heads, and another 160 when the job is done. This is not a good paying job, but our men are desperate for work. We only have about 4 days of coin left to pay wages before people start to desert. So yes, we accept your offer. We'll be escorting a caravan to Cobmanhaven, about a day to the west, and provisions will be provided for the men on the way. Sitting and jesting with the men while they check their kit. Hone their blades and mend their armor. Your mind wanders off to think about new ideas for improving the company and its reputation across the lands. What is your conclusion, and what do you tell the men? Should we set out into the wilderness and discover the unknown and plunder it, be it a wizard's tomb, a goblin camp, or aught else we may find? Or do you think we need allies, forging a bond of friendship and trust with one of the towns, and we'll get the company better prices, more volunteers, and more steady work? Most of the men agree. Allies is what we need. And that concludes our next task. We would like to get friendly relations with a civilian faction. Looking our factions over, we've done the most work in Friedwald, and they're the most likely to become allied. After this caravan is done, unless there's good work to be had nearby, we should head back to Allentown and Friedwald, looking for employ. With only 3 more days of crowns left, paying 95 crowns per day, our money will not last. Cobmanhaven is a large port town, but not very many other cities have ports, and certainly no ports may be found towards Friedwald. It's landlocked. Reaching Cobmanhaven, the caravan leader turns to you, a large satchel in hand. Thanks for getting us here, Sellsword. You take it and hand it over to Hacken for counting. He nods when he's finished. The caravan leader smiles. Also, thanks for not betraying us and, slaughtering us to a man and all that. Mercenaries get thanked in the strangest ways. Cobmanhaven is now supplied with the caravan's goods. It might be possible to find cheaper produce in this city. There are some contracts here, however, two of which look appealing to our battle brothers. Tomorrow night is the famous minstrel Bertolf of Songbird is coming to this very tavern. You better not miss it. A round of drinks are paid for the men, most becoming in good spirits. This is a large coastal city and a trading hub, and perhaps, if we're lucky, a place to find better equipment. A discount cap purchased for one of our combatants, and one of the spare wooden shields sold. This cap will be a far better protection for axemen than what they had previously worn. As you settle into the room, Volker, the treasurer, finishes a goblet of cobra wine and heaves the cup out a window. You hear the din of it clattering, hollow, far, far away. He turns to you. While walking the roads, brigands swarmed my wagon and made off with all my goods. They left me my life, which is fine, but the gall of what they did keeps me up at night. I see their sneering faces. I hear their laughter. I believe it was a message to go after me, because I refuse to pay their tolls. Well, now I'm ready to pay a toll to use Sellsword. If you go and slaughter these vagabonds, I'll pay a tidy toll indeed. What say you? How many crowns are we talking about? You look able, and I'm willing to pay quite a bit. You'll be paid 80 crowns in advance, and another 310 when the job is done. We accept your offer. Drive the brigands out of the moldy shelter west of Cobman Haven. With the upfront costs paid, a throwing net is procured from the market. This throwing net will be given to Aesgeir, one of the newest recruits. Quickly looking over the recruits, Aesgeir seems lucky. Robert doesn't have any notable traits. Hakon is tough. It's hard to keep him down. Dietrich really hates greenskins. He would love to fight the greenskins. Giesler here is huge with additional melee damage, but it's very easy to hit him. He's greedy, unfortunately, and demands a higher daily payment and will leave if we ever run out of crowns. Ulrich, determined by his mood, if his morale is up, he'll start and fight better. And Alfred the Short, well, he's just tiny. Only notable trait. We'll have to cross the narrow sea to get to the moldy shelter. And that will be tomorrow's task. The Battle Brothers heads west to the moldy shelter, knowing that the bandits have formed a garrison. It might be best to hit them at daybreak. We're venturing deeper into the woods in unexplored territory. If we were looking for adventure or misadventure, this would be the types of places to find it. Spying the moldy shelter, there's some brigand thungs and a raider. Raiders typically are more heavily geared than just the thugs alike. Quickly assessing the battlefield, there is a whole lot of debris and detritus that will slow down any approach from the north. The brigand raider has a militarized pike. He'll be dangerous. as will the thug with the wood axe and the armor. Their cannon fodder thugs swarm up close, without too much thought as to their own survival. Dietrich steps up and starts to slash the thug in front of him. There is one brigand thug trying to flank to the north, and Robert will be waiting for him, ready. Giesler, hoping to redeem himself and earn the coin that he so demands as a greedy sellsword, swings violently but misses. Hacken, more deliberate and waiting, slices the head off of the initial thug. Alfred, hoping to back up Giesler, knocks back an arrow and lets loose, missing the thug. Ulrich is hoping to let a bolt fly towards the thug with the wood axe, knowing the damage that it can cause. Connects deep, crushing a windpipe. He is near death. Aesgeir, being new to battle, stands in the back, hoping that his long reach of the pike will see his target true. And indeed, that thug is wavering. One of the newest recruits races towards the brigand raider, trying to prevent him from using his advantageous range, and raises his shield up to protect his friends. Our greedy sellsword finally connects a shot, heads spinning. Hacken's gambeson easily absorbs the strike from the butcher's cleaver, and Alfred responds with 2 arrows, one connecting with target. Ulrich spots a flanking foe, trying to lurk behind to catch the ranged units unaware, and lets a bolt out that slices the brigand thug deep. This will be no problem for Robert to clean up. Hacken, being angered that his brand new gambeson got damaged, swings, but without aim, unfortunately missing his target. Aesgeir, seeing one of the brigand thugs that has recently been impaled is ready to die, has mercy and puts him out of his misery. Dietrich, with his small hatchet, swings wildly at the thug, fortunately cutting him down. And Giesler, toe-to-toe with a very well-armed raider, starts hacking away at his thick hide. Robert, seeing that the ranged units will be in trouble if he does not act, rushes towards the thug, cutting him down where he stands. All that is left is one raider in particularly strong armor. This raider is going to be, with his range, a little difficult for the ranged units to get close to. They'll have to be careful. Surrounding him and stabbing him down with knives would have been ideal, but we don't have such knives. So damaging and destroying the armor is our only recourse. The brigand raider is gravely wounded, wavering, and catching his breath. Robert sees this as an opportunity to surround him, to break his will, get him to flee. And the newbie finishes him off with just a simple pitchfork. The raider's pike is obtained from the battle, a very powerful polearm, as well as a signet ring, which will fetch a good price in market. some food and gold and a wood axe as well. This was a good day's battle. Heading back to Cobman Haven, not only do we get paid the 310 crowns for the completion of this contract, but the wealth that we walked away with from the battle is also far worth it. Aesgeir, having killed 2 men in one fight, dons the pike. He is ready and willing. Robert decides that for him to withstand the daily battles, he must become more hardened and stronger with higher resolve. Thinking back to the muddy water where Mattis lied, being able to move more freely in terrible terrain would be most beneficial. Pathfinder, he thinks to himself, would be ideal. Hakon, knowing that his axe swings wildly, tries to hone his skill, gaining experience. But also, knowing that he gets fatigued easily and gets struck often, he focuses his training. He too thinks that Robert is correct. Finding the best path seems prudent. Dietrich, the student, obviously would like to learn more about combat. He has an inferior weapon that he's far willing to give up for a malicious spear. That hatchet has not served him well. But he will repair the woodcutter's axe so that it can be sold at market for a superior price. The day is long, but the victory is assured. Volker, the treasurer, opens the door for you as you get to his home. He's got a satchel in hand and holds it up. I take it by your return that the brigands are dead? You nod. The man heaves the satchel your way. You tell him you could be lying. Volker, the treasurer, shrugs. Could be. Word travels fast, as those who bite the hand that feeds. Good work, sellsword. Unless you're lying, of course, and then I'll come find you. Crowns well deserved. Selling off some of the unneeded gear at the marketplace seems prudent. We only have about 2 days of food left. We'll buy some simple ground grains that will keep us fed. Our ammunition is also running low. Ammunition in this town is a little bit more expensive, but will be procured. The men have been eyeballing a padded leather armor. This would be a boon to any who wore it. It is also purchased and given to Hakon. Hakon's old gambeson given to Dietrich the student, hopefully encouraging him to fight on and stronger. Dietrich's old rugged surcoat given to the newest recruit, Gisela, and he is ready to prove himself in combat. There is yet one more easy contract to maybe fulfill in this town, but first, the tavern. Heard of the Crypt of Jalfargo? People say it's haunted. The dead, walking and all. Somewhere west of here. Maybe someone else in Cobmenhaven can tell you more. This, an interesting tip. Perhaps if we're looking to fight the undead, we'll come back someday. Pay around for the men. They've earned it, and Alfred, of course, is the first to drink. Roger the merchant's turning an apple in his hand. He seems frustrated with it, almost as if he wishes it were something else, like a valuable trinket, or perhaps just a tastier fruit. Have you ever lost something you loved? You shrug and answer, there was this girl. The man shakes his head. No, not some women. More important, because I have. Thieves stole my rare coin collection. How they managed to do it, get beyond my guards, is, well, beyond me. But I know if I set you on them, I'll be having what is rightfully mine back where it belongs. Isn't that right? Or have I been misled about the quality of your services? Let's talk pay. You look able, so I'm willing to pay quite a lot. 50 crowns in advance and another 190 when the job is done. We have to be paid more than this. No way, he shouts, bursting with anger. You'll be paid 50 crowns. I accept your offer. Follow the tracks near Cobmanhaven and return the rare collection. The tracks lead to the northeast, but our two bowmen would much prefer fighting in daylight. So we'll track them down, but we won't engage until dawn. Direwolves are found in the South Bloom Forest, but this is not our quarry, for it is the thieves that have stolen the rare coin collection. With dawnbreak, the men set on the 7 thieves, brigands, just as your employer thought. They look scarred, presumably understanding that Roger the Merchant's well-paid wrath is about to descend upon them. Just some simple brigand thugs. The brigand thugs rush towards battle, nary a thought of their own demise. The men close on their targets, sizing them up and ready to strike. The first significant blow dealt to the thug, tearing off his helmet and gravely wounding him. Ulrich taking the opportunity to clean up such the lad. Aesgeir, looking to make his newly found pike useful, stabs and skewers the thug to the south, allowing Gisler opportunity to strike a new target. Flailing wildly, the daggered brigand stabs for our axeman, but he, undeterred, slices but misses in turn. Alfred, hopefully wanting to stay toe-to-toe with our Ulrich the crossbowman, lets out 2 arrows, and only 1 hits. Gisler is getting surrounded. He needs help. He needs backup. And Ulrich is ready to provide. Unfortunately, misses his target. Aesgeir, ready to impale the thug that has just recently sliced his compatriot, downs him in 1 hit. Such a brutal attack, sending his allies fleeing. Hacken takes good aim and deeply cuts the abdomen of the thug before him. As does Gessler. The enemies are routing, they're broken, they're ready to surrender. Only 1 man left to fight. The rest fleeing battle. This is hopeless for them. And like death by 1,000 cuts, the last brigand falls to his knees. Some simple equipment scavenged from the battlefield. Some of these weapons better than what our men have. Those who stole the rare coin collection are dead, and thankfully, you were able to find the item itself. Roger the merchant will be most pleased with your work here. Heading back west, there is ghouls on the road. Before we fight the ghouls, surely someone would be willing to pay. The Cobman Haven militia has just engaged the ghouls, and we're going to join the fight. There's only 1 or 2 ghouls left. We normally fight for coin, but battles like these are rare and easy. Outnumbering the enemy, 23-1. Seeing the militia in action will help size up their combat capability for future reference. Most of the militia look like conscripts, unskilled and favoring simple weapons like wooden axes and simple bows. Only a few are well armed. They use numbers to their advantage, not skill, not equipment. Letting loose arrows wildly over their friends' heads. Aesgear becoming more capable with his polearm. Would like the ability to swing it and stab with more certainty. Roger the merchant's resting his legs on 2 dogs, one at each, passed out on top of one another. These beasts could rip my throat out, yet look at them. How did this happen? I didn't even train them. Someone else did. I'm a stranger to them, and yet here they are. You place the artifact on the man's table and slide it across. He leans forward, takes it, and then places it under his desk. When his hand returns, he's got a satchel in hand. He tosses it over. As promised, good work, sellsword. The weapons we obtained from last battle should be used and repaired. Equipment is shuffled, and the detritus sold off for market value. No more easier contracts to be found here in Cobman Haven, and because we would like to become friendly with a civilian faction, we set back east-northeast to our original stomping grounds, but searching the towns on the way for cheap deals. Quality wood purchased. Knowing that the eastern towns have recently been raided, we might be able to find good price for this equipment. Passing on the road was another mercenary company just south of Minceacre, reveling in stories about successful battles. Exaggerations and all. Eisenstein recently had a mining cave-in. Production from the mines has come to a halt. The damages need to be repaired, and miners are without means to feed their family. Cheap recruits might be found here. But we need no such recruits. More recruits means more men to pay and more expensive. We'll have to take more dangerous contracts. It would be best to be well equipped before then. It has been a week past since Hoggart's demise, and our men are ready and willing to take on an additional contract. Ryman the steward takes a book from his shelf. When he sets it on the table, dust or maybe even ash plume outwards. He opens it, thumbing slowly from page to page. Do you believe in monsters, Sellsword? I'm asking honestly, as I believe you've had a better walkabout of this world than I. You nod and speak. More than just a belief, yes. The man thumbs another page. He looks up at you. Well, we believe monsters have come to Mitterfells. We believe that's why people are going missing. Understand where this is going? I need you to find these make-believe creatures and kill them like any other. Are you interested? Let's talk pay. He jingles a bag of coins. This will be yours if you help me out with this. You'll be paid 60 crowns in advance, and another 250 when the job is done. I accept your offer. The small huts and small buildings of Mitterfells house workers in the nearby mines. The monsters around Mitterfells haunt the mines. Footsteps quickly tracked to the west into the Temple Grove. These footsteps looked panicked, and it's none other than a pack of ghouls. We've fought these before. We are ready, cutting through their tough skin into their sinew. The thick forest provides advantageous bottleneck. We will seize this opportunity. Rushing forward, we place ourselves in such a formation that will not allow the ghouls to rush past, forcing them into a disadvantageous ratio. The battlefield is set, and the fight is ready. And the first cut has been dealt. Robert thrusts a ghoul, and Gisela is wavering. He's been hit a few too many times. Alfred, looking to soften up the southern flank, lets bolts and arrows loose. Ulrich, looking to help his friends, also misses. These ghouls are just too elusive. Maybe Aesgeir will have better aim. Sadly, he does not. Hacken, hoping to hone his axe into the skulls of the ghouls, additionally misses. It's looking grim. Gessler, ready for vengeance for the head wound that was inflicted, has cut a ghoul in two. Gessler, likewise, susses up the situation and pierces the cheek of the nearest ghoul, ready for Robert to clean him up. Robert moves forward, standing on the corpse of the fallen slain so that they may not consume the corpses to become stronger. This he has seen from previous fights, an experience he would like to avoid. He knows by placing himself in this position, he'll be the target of ire for all the ghouls around, but he is ready and willing to absorb the blows. Slashing claws clink his shield, but he has remained relatively unscathed. Alfred knows that the ghoul in front of him is fleeing and broken, but he still wants to crush his windpipe. Unfortunately, he misses, but Dietrich does not. And the cheek muscles and leg muscles have been torn shreds and ripped. The men faring much better in this fight, in this round than last. 2 ghouls remain, but Robert's gambeson is torn asunder. He readies his shield to keep himself protected from the next attack and bashes the ghoul backwards. It misses. 2 ghouls are left, 1 on the brink of death. This fight, save for some unfortunate luck, looks assured. Gessler readies his axe and misses, but Alfred has no better luck than his friend. Dietrich finishes off the last ghoul in the south, allowing Aesgeir to close the distance and dispatch the final foe. Many teeth ripped from the jagged mouths of the ghouls to be given back. The dead ghouls are scattered about. You take a knee beside one and look at its mouth. Ryman the steward will be expecting proof, so we'll cut their teeth out. And back to Mitterfels we go. Thank you for watching Battle Brothers, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 28th. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow sellswords.